in some ways we've lost our path in terms of the natural ordering of things. Lost what Pope Benedict and Pope Francis have called the rhythm of the love story between God and humanity. In part, that's because of our inability to ensure that technological advances are still at the service of the human being and of all of our time-honored traditions.
While the human telling of the story is done by the authors, the story itself is told in every star that shines in the sky, in the song of a bird, the shape of a leaf, in the field.
Thomas Berry says we ought to be attending the University of the Universe because it's been the primary scientist, the primary teacher, the primary lawgiver, the primary economic corporation, and the primary model for how humans are to be living. And I think that's so beautiful, that the earth is our teacher. We're not dominating and telling it what to do, but we're called to obey nature's rhythm, its intrinsic order. And so those 2 points touched me deeply.
We have those 4 lines, the crosses that go across there, these lines like this.
First Nation spirituality is very relational. And that enters into how we relate to creation. It's not just relationship with people, it's our relationship with ourselves. It's our relationship with God. It's our relationship with all of creation.
When we look at St. Thomas Aquinas, for example, and his message that there is an order to everything. Every single organism in the world has an infinite amount of relationships, and we are no different in that regard. And when we look at the world that way, in which everything has a connection, is interconnected, we are overwhelmed with a sense of beauty.
So the second of the themes is that the creation has an intrinsic order, that God created the world with an intelligibility and a coherence, and that human beings have a special place in that creation, and that we're capable of discerning what our role is and what the purpose of creation is. And I guess my question for you... The text speaks of how there is an intelligent ordering of creation, and that human beings created in the image and likeness of God are able to recognize that ordering. Through reason, we are capable of recognizing the Creator's plans, and that when we move against those plans, when we distort them, we do something which not only damages creation, but it damages the human being, damages us ourselves. I had the privilege of growing up on a farm, at least the first few years of my life, where our daily life was part of something beautiful in the natural world. Harsh at times, difficult, but beautiful. Increasingly, I think people are living in cities where they have very little contact with the land, with the natural processes of the environment, and we need to find a way as church and as society to teach that right relationship with the environment, and to open people to the beauty and the wonder of it.
There are certain laws that govern growing things. We try to observe the rules that were put in by God by not destroying the earth by pesticides and treating the earth as a living organism. The earth is living. All of life on earth comes from the soil, from the tiny little microorganisms to the biggest animals walking the face of the earth. Everybody has to eat. And so all our life really does come from the soil. And so we do everything we can to preserve the soil and improve the soil and not destroy it. That's the big difference between that type of farming and industrial farming, which is very destructive to the earth. Joel Salatin is a well-known organic farmer and writer, and I heard him give a lecture once, and he said, the trouble today is we don't respect the pigness of a pig, which means pigs today in industrial farming are kept in tiny stalls where they can hardly turn around. They never see the light of day, they never smell fresh air, they never root around in the earth. That is not respecting the pigness of a pig, because a pig was made to be outdoors, to breathe fresh air, to root in the earth. The same thing goes for chickens, for the sheep, for all the animals. And that we try to treat the animals as God ordained they should be treated.
It's not a problem with religion, or it's not a problem with the way the human is. It's a problem with our perception of the natural world. We have particular aspects to our being that are very special and wonderful and unique, but we have to see that in a wider context of a cosmos where all beings have a particular aspect of their identity and their nature that is unique and that needs to be respected.
We need to relearn that creation is the fruit of God's love for us, and that the created universe has an intrinsic order. One of the challenges we face today as church is to communicate what our human role is in this intelligent ordering of creation.